Welcome to a new fantasy adventure on Dreamscape. Join the mysterious warrior Ardorin on his brave mission through the hidden city of Glimmerhain. An action-packed short story that will captivate you. The biggest gesture you can give me is a like. If you like my stories, feel free to leave a subscription and activate the bell so you don't miss any more stories. Well then, let's dive into the story. The Light of Glimmerhain. In the shadowy alleys of the hidden city of Glimmerhain crept the mysterious warrior Ardorin. His sinister cape fluttered in the wind as he slipped inconspicuously past the guards. His emerald eyes shone eagerly, for he carried a dangerous mission to find the legendary crystal of eternal light and thus change the fate of the city forever. Danger lurked around every corner in the dark corners of Glimmerhain. Ardorin met the cunning smuggler Maria, who offered him her help. Together they followed the trail of the crystal, which led them through mysterious temples and dangerous forests. Meanwhile, in the city itself ruled the cruel tyrant Ravik, a power-hungry king who oppressed the population and demanded the crystal to gain immense power. In secret, Ardorin listened to the stories of the ancient mage Lysandra, who told him of an ancient ritual that could ignite the crystal of eternal light, releasing unimagined powers. Using cunning and trickery, Ardorin and Maria sneaked into the tyrant's palace to steal the crystal. But their plans were thwarted by the king's sinister spies, and they found themselves in a desperate fight to the death. Bravely and fearlessly, they fought their way through the ranks of the guards as they tried to decipher the mysteries of the crystal. Ardorin realized that the crystal not only held power, but also tied the fate of the city to it. In a nail-biting showdown, Ardorin and Maria faced Ravik. But instead of surrendering to the king, Ardorin outwitted him with a ruse that would have surprised even the most cunning villain. With one well-aimed blow, he managed to ignite the crystal and unleash the eternal light. Glimmerhain shone with a dazzling brilliance that would dispel the darkness and free its inhabitants. But the power of the crystal threatened to spiral out of control, and Ardorin had to make a difficult decision: either destroy the crystal and save the city, or embrace its unimaginable power and plunge the world into turmoil. In a final act of heroism, Ardorin decided to sacrifice the crystal of eternal light to save the city and its inhabitants. With one last look at Maria, the crystal disappeared in a dazzling light, and the city returned to its normal, hidden existence. The people of Glimmerhain honored the brave warrior who was willing to sacrifice everything for the good of others. Ardorin, however, continued to wander, for his adventures knew no end. He was the hero who lurked in the shadows and fought for good tirelessly and forever. After Ardorin averted the threat of tyrant Ravik, he led Glimmerhain to new prosperity. The townspeople honored him as their hero and thanked him for his bravery and determination. But even in times of peace, there was no rest for Ardorin. New challenges and dangers appeared, forcing him to go into battle again. In distant lands and forgotten kingdoms he found adventures and friends to accompany him on his journey. One of these companions was the brave warrior Lyria, whose cunning and deviousness impressed Ardorin. Together they fought mighty dragons, dark wizards, and power-hungry kings. In moments of danger, they trusted each other blindly and forged an inseparable bond. During their travels, they stumbled upon the secret of an ancient prophecy that spoke of a mythical artifact, the Phoenix Blade, which possessed the power to change the world. But the trace of the artifact had disappeared, and only fragmentary legends pointed to its whereabouts. Ardorin and Lyria decided to find the Phoenix Blade and save the world from an imminent threat. Their search led them through dangerous deserts, dark forests, and enchanted lakes. They encountered mysterious creatures and had to solve tricky puzzles to advance their way. But they were not the only ones seeking the power of the Phoenix Blade. A sinister brotherhood, led by the ruthless Shadow Master Zorak, was pursuing the same goal. Zorak was a master of deception and possessed dark powers that made him a dangerous adversary. In a thrilling race against time and the Brotherhood, Ardorin and Lyria finally managed to find the Phoenix Blade in an ancient temple. But before they could take the artifact, they were surprised by Zorak and his minions. An epic battle broke out in the temple, in which Ardorin and Lyria had to stand their ground against the overwhelming superiority of the Brotherhood. They fought with all their might and cunning strategies to defeat the evil. During the battle, Ardorin discovered the true secret of the Phoenix Blade. It was not only a powerful artifact, but also a symbol of hope and renewal. Its true power lay in the determination and courage of those who wielded it. In a last desperate act of determination, Ardorin and Lyria managed to defeat Zorak and free the Phoenix Blade. But instead of using it for themselves, they decided to keep it safe and never use it for personal power. With the Phoenix Blade as a symbol of hope, Ardorin and Lyria returned to Glimmerhain. The city cheered them and celebrated them as saviors of the world. But Ardorin knew that his journey would never end, for evil never slept. And so Ardorin and Lyria wandered on, side by side, through the shadows of the fantasy worlds. Their names were carried on the winds and passed down by storytellers, and their legacy lived in the hearts of those they had saved. Their story became a myth that inspired people to believe in goodness and the power of courage. Ardorin and Lyria were not only heroes, but also symbol bearers of a world that would never lose hope, sustained by their immortal spirit and unwavering determination. And so their adventures lived on as they wandered the shadows of fantasy worlds, fighting for good always and forever. For as long as there was a threat, they would be there, ready to face the unknown and go down in history as heroes of the fantasy worlds.